There was a liberating spirit for us sisters, and I think for the guests as well. And from that liberating spirit, we said, well, why don't we start an ecumenical community? And out of the old came a sprout, and that was that vision of having an ecumenical community. And so that impetus, that little shoot that comes from the old, and the old holds it, but lets it grow to something new. That's what I'm celebrating with women today, because women somehow have a wonderful impulse for new life.
So I feel very lucky that I grew up in a family with a lot of strong female role models. My mom and my grandma and lots of aunts and cousins. I was the youngest one in my family of many grandchildren, so I had a lot of people to look up to who had a really strong impression on me of what all the different options of what I could be as a adult or young adult woman. I feel very lucky to be living in a time and a place where being a woman doesn't have a really strong limitation on my choices of what kind of lifestyle I want to live or what kinds of careers I want to have.
I believe that we are all equally human, and I think the human race needs the gifts of all people. I believe that everybody is made in the image of God, women as well as men and other genders. We all have care of the next generation. And often women have some primary care role, either as mothers or mentors or teachers. And the way we treat women then is going to influence the next generation. If we don't provide for the needs and the dignity of women, I think that gets passed down through the generations, and that has a huge influence on the peoples of the earth.
Women have an important role to play in the society. Throughout history, the central role of women in society has ensured the stability, progress, and long-term development of nations. They are not inferior to men. They are capable of sharing all responsibilities, but many of their efforts go unrecognized.
I know myself to be very fortunate because I have the benefit of all of the people who came before me and who paved the way for cultural change and fought for equality in all of its forms. So I'm excited to see what comes next for equality and for equity.
When I think of gender equality around this issue, I think about all of us being valued in the fullness of our humanity. So I think women being treated, being listened to, our experiences being validated is important for the world. It's important for each person individually, and it's important for the world because it helps all of us become a more humane culture when all of our stories are heard and valued.
I've been lucky enough to have been blessed with the strong women that I have in my life, and sometimes they've shown me that you have to, as a woman, you have to fight kind of for what you believe and what you want in life. So I've had great role models to look up to, and I hope to be that for my future daughters or nieces.
My mother and father were very simple people, but in our home we all grew up with respect for every person. And so whether it was members of the family or whether it was people who came, guests, it really mattered that the women, I think, had an equal place, because my mother, first of all, modeled that. I built, I think, on that family tradition, and it was so good that the Rule of Benedict, 1,500 years old, says that every guest is to be received as Christ.